So today I'm painting on one of these little bitty canvases. I absolutely love them because, you know, once the painting is finished, here's one that is finished, it can sit up like this just about anywhere, which is kind of fun to put it up anywhere. I don't know, on a table or anything. I just love these little square painting, these little square canvases. They are gallery wrapped, so they're finished once you paint all, and I paint all the way around the outside of it, and I'll show you how to do that. Here's an example of one that's already been painted around each side, which is really fun. I just love these little canvases. I buy them and try to buy them in bulk because I love painting on them. They're so fun. So, okay, today I'm going to paint some poppies for Darla. I sent out an email and to a bunch of people that, you know, have bought art classes and stuff from me in the past, and I asked everybody, you know, what do you want to learn? What do you want to know? What do you want to see? What can I teach you? And when, you know, some of you guys got back to me, one of the things that came up was they wanted to learn how to paint poppies. So this is what I'm doing today, is I'm going to teach you guys how to paint poppies. This up here is going to be the sky. I haven't really decided how dark or light or blue the sky is going to be. So I'm just I'm mixing colors here right on the canvas. This is acrylic paint. This is heavy body acrylic paint. This particular brand is the heavy body acrylic paint. Now these are really old tubes of paint. I still have them. I've had these heavy body acrylic paints for, I don't know, 20 years? I don't even know. Probably 20 years. This was the old packaging that they used to have a long time ago. Right here. There's some old packaging. They redid them. Here's the way they redid them. All the logos have been redone. This is one of the new logos and everything. But these are the old paints. This is why I use heavy body paint, because the heavy body paint lasts forever. Here they are. I actually got this tube at Hobby Lobby down the street. But that's the thing. You don't have to have very much. We're going to paint this whole painting. I might add a little more, but this is all I really need. I have white here. This is green. I don't even know where the green went. It's kind of a teal green. And then, of course, I have cerulean blue. I will probably put this red on there. I may find a different red and use it. I don't really know if I want my poppies to be too orangey. I may want them to be more red. Anyway. And then I have this purple, which is Prism Violet. Okay, so that's what I'm working with right now. And white is just white. And I'm painting right on the canvas. You know, I'm kind of playing around with this. Do I want the sky? What color do I want the sky to be? You can see I have green still on my brush, so I'm kind of mixing that with the blue on my... not on my palette. I'm just right on the canvas playing with it. This is, I think, too green. I want more blue. So I'm going to go in and get more blue to add to it. And you know what? This blue may not even be the blue that I want. I did not squirt out my other blue, which is Parisian blue. So let me squirt some of that out. Maybe that's the blue that I'm looking for. And I got the wrong one. I don't know. I'm kind of playing around with this, and this is how I learn, is picking up the paintbrush and painting and playing. And sometimes I will paint a painting and I don't like it, and I'll go back with gesso, white gesso, and gesso right over the top of it, because you know that can sometimes that can happen. It all is about practicing, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't really like that either. Now that's another thing. You put something on there and you go, weak. I don't really like it. It's acrylic paint. If it's acrylic paint, you can go in with a paper towel, get it wet, and you can go right over the top of it and wipe it off. If it's really wet, you can just wipe it off with just a paper towel. But if you need to get it all the way off, you can, it's really good to wet it, and then you can just scrub it off. Now, then you need to dry it. Don't press down too hard. It is a canvas, and you can puncture and hurt a canvas. So you have to be very careful if this, you know, because it can be dented and all kinds of stuff. So you have to be careful with that. And I haven't really discovered what I want to do here. I'm trying to find the color I want. I'm kind of not finding it. So now I'm going to come over here to my palette and kind of mess around on my palette, trying to figure out what color do I want the sky to be. I don't know how white I want it to be, but I kind of want a tealy one. So I'm kind of adding that green, kind of mixing around. I don't know. Kind of like that. Maybe mix a little more white in it. It's a really, really warm day today, so this is drying pretty fast. Okay, well, this is going to have to do. I don't know that I wanted it. I haven't really decided if I want it that dark, but there's some sky. And before I go any further, I really want to go ahead and put some poppies in here, kind of design where I'm going to put them. I'm going into my water, cleaning my brush. The poppies are going to be red. So let me squirt. I don't know if this is the right red. That's the other thing about paint. Ooh, that's old. You can tell that. Anyway, that's another thing about paint is that sometimes the paint, you pick out a color and it doesn't really mix with the other colors the way you want it to. So you kind of have to practice and figure out which ones work the best and which ones don't. You know, which red mixes with which yellow, which red mixes with which blue to really come up with the colors that you want. I'm just going to pop in some poppies. This is for Darla. She sent me a note. She emailed me and said, hey, I want to learn to paint poppies. And she said she loved red ones, so guess what? That's what we're doing today. It's also good that when you're doing this, that you try to start designing what your composition's going to be. Like you wouldn't want all the poppies to be in a row, because some of them might be up a little higher. Some of them might be a little lower. You're going to have them on the side because we're going to do this whole gallery wrap. Some of them might be more like a bud. Sort of like that. Now, once I kind of have an idea where I want everything, then I want to go in and work on the background. So I'm going in and I want to make sure that I put the green in the background. I'm mixing, I have this like teal color. I can't find the tube or I tell you exactly what it is. I'll put it in the notes below. But I'm mixing that teal color up with my yellow. And the yellow is, where is it? It's cadmium yellow, medium. It's not lemon yellow. I don't like really working with lemon yellow. So I'm going in and I'm kind of putting in strokes because the limb, you're going to have limbs and leaves, and they're going to be in a vertical, they're kind of be vertical, they're going to be in strokes. So that's kind of how I'm painting it in here. I'm going to go back and put some of that teal, maybe even a little blue, just to kind of make it a little darker in areas. And put in these strokes. Now I'm picking up some of the red, and we may go back over some of that. I don't know. Okay, I kind of don't like that, so I'm going to get some of that blue off, mix up some more of this, maybe a little white. Yeah. All right. So see, while it's still wet, you can go back in and cover it. If that blue is too dark, you could go in and cover a little bit of it up with the other colors on your brush. Now, and I didn't tell you, I am using a number 10, and it's a filbert. Okay, I'm going to go on and get some streaks down here of different colors. I had used that blue. I need to make sure it's everywhere. That dark blue. So I just added a little water to my brush to fill in all the little white specks. And I don't want everything to be exactly the same, because if you look at a field of flowers, they're not, everything isn't solid. It has a bunch of different colors in it. More yellows, more, there's different colors of green, darker green, lighter green. Okay, while I'm doing this, I'm going to go on over here and do the side. I'm hopping around on my painting. Oop, I picked up red. I'm hopping around on my painting because I picked up a whole bunch of that darker color, and it needs to be in a variety of colors throughout. And I picked up some water just to kind of get this streaky color, get the streaks going so it looks like a field of flowers. Woo! Picked up some more of that red. Like I said, it's really warm today. So I'm trying really hard to keep everything damp. Okay, since I blotted everything in with this is like I said, a larger brush. I'm gonna go back and work on the sky. I'm not crazy about it, so I don't really know what color I want it to be. Do I want clouds? I don't know if I want clouds. But I'm thinking I want it lighter than it is. So I'm playing around with the colors again. Do I like, oh, I like that better. So it's white and this teal with a little bit of that blue. So it was white and teal with a little bit of this blue, and I just like it better because it's brighter. It's not so dark. And then I'm going, is that gonna look good with these red poppies? So I'm gonna mix up a little bit of the dark just to play in with it. So there's a good mixture. Oops, got some more red. Alright, so I'm going to keep going here until I get... Ooh, that was very wet. I decided to add just a little bit of clouds, maybe. That's something a little different. Okay. I'm going to let this dry. We'll go back and we're going to add more in a minute. Let's let it dry just a tad. So I did pause the video just a tiny bit. And the reason why is I wanted to let it dry just a little bit. And it was kind of funny when I was paused the video and then I went and I was looking through some of my watercolors. Here's some more poppies that I did. I didn't finish it, but here's one of the little sketches that I did in watercolor. Okay, so now I'm back to it. Let's go in here and finish up our poppies. So inside of poppies, they have like a dark black place for all the seeds and everything. I am wetting everything down a tad. So I don't know if I want to go in and do details. I think I'll start in the details. There is a little area that is in the center of our poppy that will have a little orange. I'm getting some little orange. I'm mixing up a little orange here for, let's say this is going to be this is going to have a little center area. I may even need it to be a little wider. And then it's going to be black in the center because it is going to, I am going to go in and I probably will mix a really dark color instead of actually using black. So add a little more yellow, and I want to have at least two that has a center to it. Some of the other ones may be buds or... So I did change my brush to a smaller brush so I could go in and do more detail. Like this right here, I'm going to go in and I am going to add, this turned out, this was too dark. So I'm going to go in and create a lighter color on top, and then I may go back, I'll go back in and add, so let's say this was a mistake. I'm going to go in and I'm going to add white. It's going to dry, and then we'll add the red on top of it once this white dries. Okay. I want to go in here and So poppies aren't just one color red. They're going to have, the tips of them might have a little yellow on the top. It might have orange on the top. And I'm going to have to squirt out a little more of the yellow. I'm going to put it over here next to my red. Because I got green in it. I don't want green in my red. Alright, so I'm going to add a little I want to put a little bit of white in some of the color. Not a lot, just a little. Some of it's going to be bright red. And we're layering. That's another thing about a lot of painting is you want to layer the colors on here. When I went over the green right here, it didn't, I don't know if you see, it didn't really cover it up. So another way of doing it is adding white to it, and then we can go back over it with red. And that's kind of how you if you have a mistake, that's how you can fix your mistakes. So that has to dry, and then we'll go back over it with red again. All right. So I'm going to take this this blue, and I'm going to add a little bit of blue and red together just to make a darker red, so then we can put some shadows on our flowers, like down at the bottom right here, maybe right here. This petal, I'm going to put a petal on there. Kind of put a shadow on part of your flower. Remember, we had flowers over here on both sides. So I'm going to still let some of that dry, and I'm going to go in and start working on maybe some stems. And how I'm going to do that is I'm mixing yellow and green together to come up with a lighter green. And then I'm going to go in with a blue, and I want to make a darker color. Darker than what I had here. And then I'm just going to go in and create some stems, kind of like this. They're not, I didn't make it dark enough because they're not really showing up. So. And maybe this is a bud. Have some buds up here. And all I'm doing is I'm just taking my brush and just setting it down, creating a little round circle with just by setting it down, and then I'm taking the tip and I'm just bringing the tip down. The very tip, barely touching the canvas. Alright, so we did these streaks here. Now we need to make sure that they go all the way down. So, taking the very tip of my paintbrush and just extending some of these lines. And we could even put maybe a bud down here. Maybe one right there. Sometimes it needs to be really thin paint too, in order for it to glide over. In order for it to glide over your canvas, you may need to put some extra water on it. Okay, so I'm going to walk right over here and do a few buds on this side, and then we may have to let it dry to do the other side. Whoop, see, there wasn't, it needed more water. Alright, let me get in here, get some more paint. So it needs to dry a little bit. Okay. So the way I dry, if I'm like I'm impatient, I want to hurry this up, I get a hair dryer. I make sure that my palette is moved away. I move it away, and then I'm going to turn this on and let's dry it a little. I just lost all these pages. All these pages just ran off the table here, but anyway. Okay, so now we're going to go back. I dripped a little water right there. I'm going to have that. Okay, So remember we kind of messed this up right here, and I added white. So then now I can go back and add red on top, and the red's going to come out better. It's going to come out brighter than it did beforehand. See how bright it is? So I can go get my yellow and add some yellow at the top. And then remember we made a dark purple. We can add some dark purple at the bottom. And now it's all fixed. And the same thing kind of happened here. So I'm going to go in and add red, maybe some yellow. So it looks so much better. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it looks so much better. So I want to go in and I don't know if I can mix up any more of this blue to kind of fix some of the holes. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. All right, now I need to do these over here. Going back in with my dark green. Ooh, too much water. There's a little field of flowers. Isn't this fun? All right, I still want to go in and I need to add, I'm going to mix up a really dark color. So I'm taking the darkest one and I want to go in and get this red. I'm going to pick up red and I want to put these together to create a really dark, almost black. Not quite black, but it's really dark purple. And I'm going to use this dark purple to give more contrast. See how we went in and put the dark leaves in, or the dark buds in, which are nice. But I think I also want to go in and poppies in the center of a poppy, they have black dots for the seeds. So that's what I'm going to add to a couple of them, and I'm going to try to add a little more contrast at the bottom of a couple of them. Let's see, let me get some paint. And maybe even some extra contrast too, maybe. I mean, if you look at the top of the buds, they're actually really dark at the top. So I'm going to make them really dark at the top, just to give more extra contrast. I have a bunch of paint on my brush, but it's not on the tip, and I need it on the very tip of my brush in order to add it. The shadows, I want to make sure there's shadows. Purple is a really, really good color to use for shadows. And you know, I was going to paint over that, but I kind of like that that's lighter. So I may actually go back and add highlights on some of them just to give it a little more contrast. It's just, I'm not getting the contrast that I think I need. So, and I hope I didn't mess the other side up. No, it looks good. Let's more contrast into this one, this one. And it's weird because this one looks like it's just floating in space. I don't want it floating in space. I'm going to put a stem on it. A stem on it. Okay. So if I'm going to add light, I don't know that I want it white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this orange that I had mixed up. And wet it again, make sure that it's mixed up still. So I have this orange that I've mixed up, and I'm going to bring it over here and add white to it. So it's not, we're not putting white on our painting, we're putting a color on it. So I'm kind of doing a mixture, and so it's light, but it's not white. I mean, it has white in it, but it's not straight white. And I think that gives it more punch, but it's not going to make it look really funny and not realistic. So I think I want this to be a little more yellow than white. And I'm going to go in and add a little white up on the top. This to kind of show where the, maybe where the light hits it. And they have, and if you look at them, they're kind of wavy. So I'm going to put in some streaks. It'll look like they're wavy. I don't know, that didn't work as well as I thought. Anyway, it's not just to give it a little punch of light on the top. Not every one of them, just some of them, because you want a variety. I really like this to be a little more yellow, a little more orange. Some of them could be rich, dark red. That's so pretty. Okay, I know that this is wet on this side. What does it look like? It looks pretty good. Oh, I don't want to put too much. And see, this one didn't get painted all the way, so I'm going to go in and add this yellow to make a petal look like that, maybe right here. And this needed more green. So I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to go in and find this green that we had. Oop, I didn't rinse it good enough. Got to rinse it really, really good. And I got to figure out how to get this green again. So I'm mixing up this green again to add it here. Ooh, I like that. So I may add a little bit of this really bright green in here to kind of give it more Now I need to decide, am I done or do I want something else in there? I can't decide. What do I want to do? Do I want to add? Does it need to be darker? Does it need lighter? Do we need more clouds? I don't know. I'm thinking. That's another thing that you have to be very careful with, is you can overdo a painting. I mean, you could paint it and paint it and paint it and paint it and it's just overdone. So what do I want to do? If I go in with white and put more, could possibly put more clouds maybe in. Ooh. Can't decide if I like that or not. Almost as if you have it on one side, you need it on the other. But maybe not as much on this side. So what do you think? There is our little poppy. Field of poppy. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed this painting of this field of poppy. The other thing about these paintings are, I don't make up all of these paintings. I actually always have something to look at. So this is the picture that I found off the internet, and it's, you know, I didn't copy it exactly, obviously, but this is my inspiration. And, you know, I kind of think I should have done some of that, but, you know, I don't want to overwork my painting. So I just wanted you to know that I usually have some sort of reference material. They're usually photographs, either my photographs or someone else's photographs, to create paintings or to get inspiration from. This is our little painting, and I hope you enjoyed the poppies today. And I will see you in the next video.